everyone. So I really wanted to reflect on the book talks that I watched, and one of the surprising and really interesting things that I noticed was that the music utilized for a book talk really created a mood for the audience. So I was watching book talks, and an example would be Nicole. So Nicole utilized a song about freedom, and this really created an emphasis on the notion that this text or this book addresses some of the ideologies of freedom. So her song or her selection of music for her book talk allowed the readers to get this sense of mood that this novel is going to be about the importance of freedom and what that meant. And it sounded, the song that she selected sounded as though it was sang by a passionate African-American woman. So one of the things that I immediately thought when I first heard the song was that this text is about the freedom for African-American people. So I just thought that the music selection for many of the book talks was really interesting because it's just said a lot about what the book was about. Another thing that I noted that was really interesting was that a lot of the book talks had some of the numerical data and facts and statistics that the book talk discusses. So I was watching Lucia's book talk, and it incorporated a lot of the data, a lot of statistics about immigrants, and the importance of the immigrant population and different origins or different areas of immigrants and where they came from. And she mentioned some of the awards that the book won, and I thought this was really important information for engaging our readers and for making students interested in the book. Another thing that I noted and that I really liked about the book talk is that some of our classmates asked questions before they began their book talk. So, for example, Patrick Hancock, he really asked several questions to the audience. Now, these questions are purposeful because they allow readers to really think about what the question was asking, what kind of answer they would come up for the question, and then continue watching the book talk to see if the book talk answers those questions and addresses those questions, which Patrick did a wonderful job summarizing or answering the questions that he initially asked in the beginning of the book talk. This is just a fantastic way to engage readers into watching the book talk and into ultimately reading the book for Bombs Away. Another thing that I noted is that these book talks can be utilized to allow students to be accountable for reading. This is a great strategy to hold students accountable. This is a great strategy to allow students to share information on other texts. I know middle school students, I know elementary school students have literature circles, and also high school students have literature circles. So this is a wonderful way to make students accountable for reading, to share their reading and their knowledge, and to present their readings to the class to make other students engage themselves in the book. So some of the knowledge and the literacy that students will have to know when completing an assignment like this or a multimedia project is how to use these resources. So we had a variety of resources. Some students did Prezi presentation. Some of us did Vimeo. Some of us did VoiceThread presentations, Animoto presentations, YouTube presentations. So one of the crucial aspects of successful learning is to really explain the process of how to create this multimedia presentation and scaffolding what that looks like. And this is going to probably take time. I know for my high school students, it'll probably take 3, maybe 4 days, if anything. So just really scaffolding how to use these digital literacies is super crucial. Another thing is having resources and links available for students to utilize so that they know where they're looking, where they're going to for their resources. So, for example, creating a Google Doc or a page as to the many links that they can use, such as Animoto, such as YouTube, such as Prezi. This is crucial for students to have a list of variety of resources that they can possibly use. And I wanted to also mention, this is a project that supports all content areas. So, as many of you know, I teach high school English, so I teach in a content area in English. So for English, this would be good, as a simple book talk, making students responsible for reading their texts in their literature circles. It can be used for addressing vocabulary and concepts. So if there's different strategies to teach students, they can create multimedia presentations based off of what these strategies are. Multimedia presentations on vocabulary words, what that looks like, what that sounds like, a picture that illustrates these vocabulary words. Comprehension is a wonderful thing. Also, because my class is New York State Regents aligned and many of the students take a New York State Regents exam, we often are focused and geared towards writing essays. So after completing the essay, they can create these kind of digital presentations on, their thesis statement and the evidence that they use to support their claim, and analysis, and create these different PowerPoint or these different multimedia presentations. This can be used in math and showing the steps for an equation in history, explaining different revolutions in science, using the scientific method, and creating PowerPoint or a multimedia presentation based off of their knowledge of what they learned or the skills that they're learning in each class.